One day, a low-quality game called Tower of Death suddenly appeared on people's phones and computers. At first, people thought it was a rogue game, until someone received a cash reward in the game that would be credited in the next second. From then on, the first thing almost everyone does when they open their eyes is to play this small game, just to compete for the small probability of completing the level and the rewards after completing it. But what they didn't know was that the real Tower of Death had quietly descended. Humans who have not awakened their own martial soul cannot even pass beginner levels. All that awaits them is death. Jiang Yuze, who drew a super god level ability from the beginning, passed every game 100%. Even the awakened soul of the original martial soul is the highest divine quality. But, oh my god, why is TM an auxiliary ability again? Am I destined to only be an assistant? Chapter 1. Tower Climbing Game, Start with Supernatural Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Finally, we have a short and long vacation. Quick, fast, fast. Hurry up and upgrade your account, and upgrade your equipment to the next dungeon. I haven't played for so long, and the Abyss set is almost ruined. I still need 3 pieces to make it into 1. Taking advantage of the holiday now, I have to finish my outfit no matter what. Third, don't fuss, you slutty guy. If you don't come with this meat shield, no one will be able to resist the damage. Here we go. Jiang Yuze, we're just missing you. Hurry up and register. The top 100 players in the full server combat power rankings have agreed to take us to create dungeons, and if we don't come again, we won't take you. I'll tell you secretly that the other person is your favorite lowly sound. 3 roommates eagerly urged each other through their headphones. Jiang Yuze sat in front of the computer and clicked on the game icon that had been neglected for a long time. 3D online game. Apocalypse City. Meanwhile, he retorted. Boss, Lolaton or something, even though it's your favorite, why do you insist on bringing me along? The second person also agreed. That's right, I strongly agree with Jiang Yuze on this point. The boss likes lowly, while Jiang Yuze likes Yujia, hahaha. Second, you're going too far. When did I say I like the Imperial sister? Online gaming is a common entertainment hobby among the 4 of them in their dormitory. It is also one of the rare ways to relax outside of coursework. When they walked out of the classroom, they had already made an appointment to brush equipment together. But I haven't played for too long. As soon as I opened it, the game jumped to the update interface. Waiting to download patch 6G, 10M downloaded, expected completion time of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Jiang Yuze sighed helplessly and said, you guys play first, my game still needs to be updated. Send the updated screenshot of the game to the group, and hear the boss's roast. I'll go, you're breaking the internet speed, you have to update for so long. Forget it, wait a minute. Anyway, you're playing an auxiliary profession, and without you, we can still brush. Jiang Yuze, call me after you update. I'll pull you into the team. The others quickly got up and entered the dungeon. The game still needs to be updated for over 2 hours, and Jiang Yuze doesn't want to just sit in front of the computer like this. Just as I was about to get up and make a cup of coffee, a window popped out. That is a game advertisement, with an overall art style that leans towards the dark side, and there are no visible highlights. This means that the design of the game name is quite prominent, and it looks like some effort has been put in. The Tower of Death. A tower climbing game. As long as you successfully climb to the top of the tower, you can receive random rewards. Becoming a billionaire is not a dream. Haha, nowadays, game developers are also competitive enough. In order to promote games, they dared to say anything. Jiang Yuze, who had no interest in these nonsense, casually clicked the close button in the upper right corner. But he searched twice but couldn't find the familiar fork. The only button that can be pressed is the Enter Game button. This TM is a rogue game, isn't it? Is there a way to force players to play games like this? I won't be able to pass you if I don't believe it. Speaking, Jiang Yuze pressed the shortcut button on the keyboard, wanting to open the task manager and forcibly end the task. It's strange that no matter how he presses, the task manager just can't jump out. He was so angry that he wanted to unplug the power directly. At this moment, the voice of Lao San's puzzled voice came from his earphones. Damn it! What kind of rogue advertisement is this? It's popping up at this moment. TMD, why can't it be turned off? Did you also encounter it? I thought my computer had a virus. Playing and playing, this thing pops up. Even this advertisement appeared on my phone. Isn't it really a new type of virus? Playing games can make you a billionaire. How about giving it a try? Isn't that right, third brother? Do you also believe in this kind of advertisement? Third person. You won't have already started playing. Were you listening to the voices of his roommates? Jiang Yuza realized that he was not the only one who had encountered this problem. Taking out the phone, I suddenly noticed that this game advertisement also appeared on the phone. Is it really a virus? Stealing personal information while your phone is not working. Shouldn't the balance in my card have already become zero by now? Just as Jiang Yuza was worried about the poor 3-digit balance in his card, the third person's exclamation came from his earphones. This game is not very difficult, it's easy to climb to the top of the tower. Ha! Can I claim a treasure chest? Holy crap, I actually won a first-class scholarship with a prize of 1,000 dragon coins. Surprisingly, there is such a reward, and this game developer is quite funny. Do you think this money will be transferred to the school account? Upon hearing the third person's words, the eldest mocked and said. You probably don't really believe it, do you? He may ask you to fill in your personal bank account and password in a little while. Don't miss the bonus, all the money in the card is gone. These days, some scammers can come up with any weird way to make money. At this moment, the third person's voice rang out again. Hey, my computer can play again. Brother, hurry up and start moving. This instance is only halfway through. Wait, I seem to have received a text message. I'll go. The homeroom teacher said that I ranked 10th in the entire grade in this final exam, just enough to qualify for a first-class scholarship. The bonus has been sent to my bank card, please let me check it carefully. Let me take a look. Hahaha. Surprisingly, there is really an extra 1,000 dragon coins. As soon as he said this, the boss almost laughed and got angry. Pull it down. Third, you have the worst grades in the whole class, and you ranked 10th in the grade. It's a pity you could think of it. I think the 10th to last is quite similar. How can the things drawn in the game possibly come into reality? Do you really think I'm stupid? But boss, what third brother said seems to be true. I saw the award list sent by the class teacher in the class group. There is really the third person's name on it. What are you saying? Wait, my computer and phone are both stuck in the game advertisement interface. How did you see it? Is it difficult for you to play too? Hehe. Anyway, it couldn't be closed either, so I clicked into play. Not to mention, I actually drew a whole set of Abyss sets. Ha! Which game friend sent me an email? I'll go. The game official actually said that I am the 88,888th lucky player to enter the game today, and hereby gift me a complete set of Abyss sets. What was drawn in the game of Tower of Death, and how could I really get it? Boss and Yuza, you too should also give it a try. If you're lucky, there might really be a chance to become a billionaire. If only the third person said that, Jiang Yuza would never believe it. We attended high school together for over 2 years, and he knew the second person very well. Whenever he lied, he would stutter. Just now, the second person spoke fluently without any stuttering. That is to say, he is not lying. Anyway, trying it won't lose a piece of meat. With this idea in mind, Jiang Yuza clicked the Enter Game button. Player Jiang Yuza successfully registered a game account. Note: this game account is permanently bound to me and cannot be unbound. No one else can log in except for the player themselves. Welcome to Tower of Death version 1.0. The difficulty of the first level is reduced by 90%. Wishing you a pleasant game. The prompt sound ends, and the computer screen jumps to a picture of a black tower. I saw a small figure in the tower, looking left and right, hesitating whether to choose the left staircase or the right staircase to climb the tower. There is also a constantly jumping countdown in the upper right corner, which must be made within 10 seconds. If exceeded, the game will be considered a failure. Although he didn't quite understand how to play, given the time limit, Jiang Yuze closed his eyes and casually chose one side. The character in the game immediately climbed the stairs he had chosen. Next second. Game characters obtain weapon assault rifles. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the second floor of the Tower of Death. The entire process only has text prompts and no related game graphics. Immediately after, the villain arrived at the second floor. The second floor is still the same as the first floor, with 2 stairs on the left and right, and a constantly jumping countdown. In this regard, Jiang Yuze cannot help but complain. The production of this game is too low, isn't it? Can a game company that can't even afford to hire a more advanced designer really redeem game rewards? Roast belongs to roast, but Jiang Yuze continues to play. Because the gameplay on each floor is to choose between left and right stairs. In order to end this boring game quickly, Jiang Yuze decided to randomly choose one. Game characters gain strength attribute points plus 10. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the 3rd floor of the Tower of Death. The game character gains an absolute critical strike skill. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the 4th floor of the Tower of Death. It seems that due to a 90% reduction in game difficulty, Jiang Yuze is able to obtain powerful items or skills every time and successfully pass levels to reach the next level. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Soon, Jiang Yuze cleared the game. A treasure chest also appeared on the screen, which is his clearance reward. Without much thought, Jiang Yuze clicked to open it. Afterwards, a dazzling light flashed past and the prompt sound rang out again. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for obtaining the Super God level reward, the left eye of the God. This reward is unique and permanently bound to the player. It cannot be stolen, stripped, or copied. Chapter 2. God's Left Eye, I Can See Hidden Information. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After receiving the clearance reward, Jiang Yuze suddenly felt a slight itch in his left eye. Is it because I have been using my eyes excessively recently and my eyes have become inflamed? I remember I still have half a bottle of eye drops left from the last time I bought them, so they should still be usable. Just as he was about to get up and look for eye drops, Jiang Yuze was startled by his reflection in the mirror. What the hell, how did my left eye turn golden? I don't think I have any yellow eye disease. Jiang Yuze leaned his face towards the mirror, spread his eyelids open with his hand, and observed carefully. I found that my left eye had indeed turned golden except for the white area. The position of the pupils seems to have a pattern similar to a 6-pointed star. Fortunately, it did not affect vision. Instead, I felt that what I saw through my left eye was more 3-dimensional and clear. Suddenly, Jiang Yuze noticed a small line of text appearing in front of him. The Left Eye of God. Rating. Superb level. Insight into all hidden information. Jiang Yuze was startled again and immediately waved his hand, and the line of text disappeared. Startled, he reached out to grab the water glass from the table, wanting to take a sip of water pressure to calm his nerves. But when his gaze fell on the water glass, another line of text appeared. Stainless steel insulated cup, produced in 2022, with good insulation performance. The water temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, non-toxic, and can be consumed with peace of mind. Bang dang. Jiang Yuze shook his hand and the thermos fell to the ground, splashing water all over the floor. The line of text in front of me also changed accordingly. The slightly deformed stainless steel insulated cup has good insulation performance. The water temperature is 38 degrees Celsius, mixed with a small amount of dust, and it is not recommended to drink picking up the insulated cup with a slightly concave corner at the bottom. Jiang Yuze immediately understood that the line of text he had just seen was actually the true state of the object he was looking at. Jiang Yuze, who did not believe in evil, shifted his gaze to other places. As he moved, the line of text in his eyes also changed. A broken TV, due to its age and aging of the circuit on the motherboard, is now unable to be turned on. It is recommended to sell it to a waste recycling bin. Green luo potted plant, growing for 3 months, currently extremely lacking in water. It is recommended to water it immediately. A wooden storage cabinet is used to store snacks, but due to a hole in the bottom, it is often frequented by mice. Suggest filling the hole, otherwise your sausages will all suffer wherever the line of sight passes. The information of each item is described in text. And it can also insight into its internal condition, which is simply a divine skill. Wait. Does it say there's a hole in my snack cabinet? And there are also mice. Jiang Yuze quickly opened the snack cabinet. Zhi. A frightened mouse immediately darted out of the hole under the wooden cabinet. Leave a sausage to eat the remaining half. Now, Jiang Yuze completely believes in the ability of his left eye to perceive the hidden information of things. But there are always words floating around in front of me, which is quite uncomfortable. Can this ability be manually turned off and on? As soon as the words fell, Jiang Yuze noticed that the text in front of him had disappeared. Not only that, his left eye also returned to its original color. Sure enough, it can be freely controlled. This way, I don't have to worry about being noticed if my eyes have different colors. Speaking of how this Tower of Death game was actually achieved. Not only can the prizes drawn in the game be redeemed in reality, but also the incredible ability to discern hidden information can be achieved. This game shouldn't be a higher dimensional existence, right? Jiang Yuze has heard of similar theories. It is impossible to draw a line in 1-dimensional space. But in 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional space, that is quite easy. Similarly, things that cannot be achieved in a 3-dimensional world may be explained in a 4-dimensional world. At present, humans can only explain 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, and 3-dimensional worlds, and it is uncertain what a 4-dimensional world looks like and whether it exists. But now, the probability of the existence of a 4-dimensional world should be very high. Perhaps this game called Tower of Death is related to the 4-dimensional world. At this moment, the second voice rang out from the earphones. Yuze, have you played the game Tower of Death? What prize did you win? Why do you always sound surprised on your end? Retrieving his thoughts, Jiang Yuze was about to answer when he heard the boss complaining. Damn it! What kind of luck did I have to draw a stack of test papers? And in the blink of an eye, the test paper was placed on my desk. TM is a 5-year college entrance examination with a 3-year simulation. Is this reminding me to spend more time on studying? Upon hearing his words, the second and third of them burst into laughter. Jiang Yuze realized that not all rewards are good. Some people may also receive rewards that are not very valuable. After some thought, he still didn't intend to reveal the news that he had hit the left eye of God. After all, after the emergence of the Tower of Death game, it is uncertain how much change it will bring to this world. If the news of possessing the supernatural ability of the left eye of God spreads, it is very likely to bring fatal consequences to oneself. So he pretended to be depressed and said, "Hey. My luck wasn't good either, so I only drew a pack of tissues." The third person is still the luckiest and surprisingly won a scholarship of 1,000 dragon coins. The boss immediately spoke up. That's right, third brother. You've taken so much money, it's hard not to treat our brothers to a meal. Third, why are you silent? I won't have already taken the money and gone away with ease, will I? Don't make any noise, I'm playing the game Tower of Death. I don't believe it anymore. Without the advantage of reducing the difficulty level by 90% for the first time, I won't receive any rewards. Damn it. TM died again. Come again. What? Have you reached the maximum number of games today? Surprisingly, there is a limit of 3 games per day. Then the third one roast, and the second one also said in frustration. Third, at least you have received a scholarship of 1,000 dragon coins, so be content. I will also fail in the next 3 games. The 2 stairs are exactly the same. Who knows which one can get the customs clearance props? Hey. We can only continue after the game refreshed tomorrow. Listening to their conversation, Jiang Yuza's eyes suddenly lit up. Both stairs are the same, I don't know which staircase can get the clearance props. My God's left eye can see hidden information. Isn't that equivalent to cheating? Thinking of this, Jiang Yuza once again clicked the enter game button. Still the same game interface, either staircase, the same countdown. However, after activating the God's left eye ability, a line of text appeared at each position of the stairs. Left staircase. Due to long-term disrepair, some of the stairs have become loose, which may cause players to fall off the stairs and result in game failure. Right staircase. There is a desert eagle at the end of this staircase. Chapter 3. SSS level ability, Super Lucky Star. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Sure enough, you can see hidden information. Jiang Yuza suppressed his excitement and pressed the stairs on the right before the countdown ended. The game character gains the weapon Desert Eagle. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the second floor of the Tower of Death. Next, the second layer features the same game interface. Left staircase. This staircase contains a mechanism, and players who trigger the mechanism will be pierced by 10,000 arrows, leading to game failure. Right staircase. There is a bottle of secret medicine at the end of this staircase. Drinking it can give you 10 points of strength attribute. Without hesitation, Jiang Yuza immediately chose the staircase on the right. Game characters gain strength attribute points plus 10. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the third floor of the Tower of Death. In each subsequent level, only one staircase can successfully lead to the upper level. The probability of half is neither high nor low. But if all 10 layers need to be correctly matched, the probability is less than 1 in 1,000. No wonder the second and third of them all failed in their 3 subsequent opportunities. However, for Jiang Yuza, who can see hidden information, this is simply not too easy. Quickly, he arrived at the 10th floor. Several lines of text appeared in the game interface. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza, as the first player to climb to the top of the tower in normal difficulty, for adding an additional treasure chest reward. Surprisingly, there is an additional treasure chest reward. Nice. Jiang Yuza drank water while opening the first treasure chest. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving the reward. Draw a pack of paper. When Jiang Yuza saw that the reward was only 1 pack of paper, he splashed out water with a splash. Isn't it true that I actually drew a pack of tissues? I seriously suspect that this game is secretly eavesdropping on my chat content. Jiang Yuza roast and opened the second treasure box. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for obtaining SSS level abilities and becoming a Super Lucky Star. Super Lucky Star. Enable players to have extremely high luck values, and have a high probability of triggering lucky critical strike effects when opening treasure chests and other rewards, improving the quantity or quality of rewards. It is another ability, and the rating is SSS level, which should be a relatively rare ability. When acquiring this ability, Jiang Yuza not only felt excited, but also had a hint of worry. The previous Divine Left Eye was a Super Divine level ability, and this time the Super Lucky Star is also an SSS level ability. Since I can obtain such abilities through this Tower of Death game, other players can definitely do the same. Even if not now, there will definitely be people who will acquire various abilities in the future. This world is probably going to change. Jiang Yu's concerns are not unreasonable. When he opened his browser and searched for content related to the Tower of Death, thousands of posts popped up. And every time it is refreshed, the number of posts will increase by tens or even hundreds. The most viewed post among them was posted by a netizen named, "I want to make money." The content is very simple, only a screenshot of a 7-digit deposit. The text below the picture also has only one sentence. Ha ha ha. I really became a millionaire through the game, Tower of Death. The comments below this post are filled with various envy. Ah. Why did I get a pack of spicy strips as a reward? Why isn't the person who won the jackpot me? I also received a sum of money, but not as much as 1 million. Although it's a bit sour, I still have a chance. Jiang Yu flipped down a few pages, all of which were comments of this kind, and then opened another post. That was posted by a netizen named, My Mixed Qinglong Gang. The title is, "If the reward drawn in the game, Tower of Death, is a desert eagle, should I submit it or should I submit it?" Upon clicking on it, the accompanying image is undoubtedly a black desert eagle. Just looking at the pictures alone cannot determine whether it is real or a highly imitated toy gun. But upon careful consideration, no idiot would joke about such a thing. After all, using a toy gun to make such a joke is not causing trouble for oneself. As expected, the first reply at the top below is the account of the relevant department with the official logo of Longwa. We have locked your current location based on your account. Please stay in place as personnel from relevant departments are on their way. According to the relevant laws of Dragon Country, citizens are prohibited from illegally possessing firearms and weapons of mass destruction. If the situation is true, the item will be confiscated in accordance with the law. The second comment was about roast about, I work for the Green Dragon sect. Are you stupid? If it were me who drew the Desert Eagle, I wouldn't have foolishly posted it. I had to secretly hide it myself. Okay, now, has it been confiscated? There were quite a few people who liked this comment, and it immediately took second place. However, there is also a top reply below this comment, which is also marked with the official logo. Reply from relevant department account. Due to the content of your remarks, we have reason to suspect that you are hiding dangerous weapons. We have locked your current location based on your account, please stay in place. Personnel from relevant departments are already on their way. Another pitiful creature that has been targeted by relevant departments. There's no way, who made him say what shouldn't be said? After seeing this post, Jiang Yu asked himself in reverse. If I am the one who obtained the Desert Eagle, should I hand it over? If it were before, he would not hesitate to choose to submit it. But now, his choice is exactly the opposite. The emergence of the game Tower of Death is bound to bring tremendous changes to this world. What will happen in the future is completely unpredictable. Maybe it will lead the world into the apocalypse. In that case, having a self-protection weapon around is undoubtedly a guarantee. Subsequently, Jiang Yu browsed some posts again. But I haven't found any posts that mention acquiring abilities like abilities. There are two possibilities. The first type is that besides him, no one has really gained any abilities yet. The second type is that someone has already acquired a power, but it has not been publicly disclosed online like the netizen named, I mixed with the Qinglong Gang. Among these two possibilities, Jiang Yu leans more towards the second one. Because he is this type of person. I will never foolishly disclose the fact that I have acquired abilities. Because doing so will only reveal one's bottom card and bring unnecessary trouble to oneself. It is possible to be controlled by relevant departments at a light level, or to be pulled for slicing research at a heavy level. Even if it is the first possibility, it is only a matter of time for others to acquire abilities with a 1 in 1,000 chance. In summary, what I need to do now is to take advantage of the left eye of God and improve my strength as soon as possible. In case there is chaos in this world or when the end of the world falls, I need to have enough self-protection power. Thinking of this, Jiang Yuza once again clicked the Enter Game button on the screen. Chapter 4. Lucky Critical Strike. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The game character gains the weapon Storm Hammer. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the second floor of the Tower of Death. The game character gains defense attribute points plus 20. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the third floor of the Tower of Death. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. With the help of God's left eye, Jiang Yuza once again had no suspense and easily completed the game. Suddenly, a line of text reappeared on the screen. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Immediately after, 2 treasure chests appeared on the screen. Seeing this scene, Jiang Yuza knew that it was all thanks to his newly acquired SSS level ability, a super lucky star. This ability doubled the number of rewards he received, as he already had more opportunities to receive rewards than others. Realizing this advantage, Jiang Yuza happily opened his first treasure chest. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving the reward, a box of braised beef instant noodles. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Get 10 boxes of braised beef instant noodles. When he saw clearly the rewards he had received, Jiang Yuza, who was originally complacent, suddenly had a black line on his face. Although he prefers to eat braised beef instant noodles, why is it so unpleasant when opened from the treasure chest? That feeling is like missing out on a billion. Forget it, getting 10 boxes of instant noodles is also good, at least it can be used as emergency rations. Ha! This is. Just as Jiang Yuza clicked to claim the reward, these 10 boxes of instant noodles appeared in front of him, and a line of text appeared in his eyes. The food obtained from the Tower of Death can still be consumed after its arrival. At first glance, this statement may seem like nonsense, but after careful consideration, it seems to contain some important information. Can the food obtained from the Tower of Death still be consumed after its arrival? Jiang Yuza repeated this sentence. Suddenly, a thought flashed through his mind. A very terrifying idea. Is it true that the Tower of Death in the game will one day descend upon the blue star? And after the arrival of the Tower of Death, food that was not obtained from the Tower of Death will become inedible? Jiang Yuza was startled by his own idea, and even his heart skipped a beat. Although this is just Jiang Yuza's conjecture. But from the hidden information seen by the left eye of God, there is still a possibility of this conjecture, and the probability is not low. At this moment, countless questions appeared in Jiang Yuza's mind. Will the Tower of Death really descend upon the blue star? When exactly will it come? After the arrival of the Tower of Death, what will the blue star look like? Why was the food on the blue star inedible at that time? What about the water? Can't we drink it too? What should those people without food do? Are you waiting to die? After a moment, Jiang Yuza suddenly woke up. Instead of worrying about whether the Tower of Death will actually come here, it's better to prepare in advance. And when even his own survival is a problem, how can he have the heart to care about others? It would be great if one could guard their food from being taken away. In the face of the apocalypse, the order of humanity is bound to collapse. The most important thing now is to enhance our strength and hoard food. Of course, the food mentioned here naturally comes from the game Tower of Death. After calming down, Jiang Yuza looked at the computer screen and found that there was still a treasure chest that had not been opened. After clicking to open, a line of text appears. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward. The number of times he has passed the Tower of Death has increased by 10. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and upgrading the reward. The maximum number of daily level challenges plus 10. Looking at the number 11 displayed in the remaining number of levels on the game interface, Jiang Yuza was overjoyed. Today is the first time the Tower of Death game has opened, so each player has 4 opportunities to pass the level. After that, it will become 3 times a day. After receiving the reward of just upgrading through the Super Lucky Star ability, Jiang Yuza's daily number of challenges has increased to 13. This undoubtedly gave Jiang Yuza more opportunities to prepare before the arrival of the Tower of Death. After checking the time, it's already past 10 p.m. The refresh time for the number of levels in the Tower of Death is exactly midnight. It is unclear whether the unused number of levels will accumulate to the next day. He must use all the remaining 11 times before 12 o'clock. Don't waste a single time. So, Jiang Yuza clicked the Start Game button again. The game character gains an attack attribute of +50. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the 2nd floor of the Tower of Death. The game character gains a shield. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the 3rd floor of the Tower of Death. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. This time, Jiang Yuza did not have the ability to trigger the Super Lucky Star, so there was only 1 treasure chest. There's no way, who makes it possible to trigger a lucky critical strike effect. Although Jiang Yuza hopes to trigger a lucky critical strike effect every time, occasionally missing 1 or 2 times is not unacceptable. Click on the treasure chest, and a line of text immediately appears on the computer screen. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, a box of canned beef. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Get 10 boxes of canned beef. It is also a food reward. But this time, Jiang Yuza was not unhappy because the reward was food. On the contrary, he hopes to receive more such rewards. After all, having more food can increase the chances of survival after the arrival of the Tower of Death. There's not much time left, I have to use up the remaining 10 attempts to shut down before 12 o'clock. Jiang Yuza continues to click the Start Game button. A few minutes later, the game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, a box of canned fruits. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Get 10 boxes of canned fruits. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward of 5,000 dragon coins. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect, increasing the number of rewards by 20 times. Get 100,000 dragon coins. After receiving the reward, Jiang Yuza quickly received the bank transfer information. Upon clicking on it, the balance in the bank card has changed from 3 digits to 6 digits. For him, who is still a student, this is simply a huge sum of money. Suddenly, as Jiang Yuza watched this huge sum of money, a thought came to his mind. These money were obtained from the Tower of Death. Can the food I bought with this money still be consumed after the Tower of Death descends? If possible, did he find a bug? Chapter 5. Game Updates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, Jiang Yuza immediately put this idea aside because it was already late at night. Even if he wanted to give it a try, the nearby small shops had already closed. And compared to confirming this matter, he has more important things to do. That is to use up the remaining 9 attempts to shut down today. After successfully passing the level again. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, a box of fresh milk. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Get 10 boxes of fresh milk. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, with a power attribute point of +1. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Gain strength attribute points plus 10. Surprisingly, it can still increase attribute points. Seeing this reward, Jiang Yuza was slightly taken aback. He stood in front of the mirror and looked at his body. I discovered that my originally thin body has now grown quite a few muscles. Even the abdominal muscles have become 8 pieces. Seeing this transformation in the mirror, Jiang Yuza bent down again and started doing push-ups. 10 30 100 quickly, he did 300 push-ups in a row. And after finishing, surprisingly, there was only a slight gasp for breath. The increase in these 10 strength attributes has made his physical fitness surpass that of over 90% of people. For Jiang Yuza, this undoubtedly enhances a lot of strength. After all, after the arrival of the Tower of Death, the world is bound to become chaotic. Having good physical fitness can increase the chances of survival. Great, keep going. Jiang Yuza once again sat in front of the computer and started the game Tower of Death. A few minutes later. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, a box of pineapple bread. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Get 10 boxes of pineapple bread. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, 1 inflatable doll. Female celebrities can simulate inflatable dolls. 1. On point 1, bringing you unexpected happiness on lonely nights. Built-in speaker, can record, can be remotely controlled. There is a surprise when opened. Watching the series of hidden messages emerging in front of him, Jiang Yuza's lips twitched. Although he is a single young man, is he someone who needs this kind of thing? The answer is obvious. Cough, cough, cough. Business is important. Wait until the remaining number of levels are used up before dealing with the inflatable doll. Jiang Yuza awkwardly coughed a few times and continued to pass the level. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, 1 box of mineral water. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect, increasing the number of rewards by 20 times. Obtain 20 boxes of mineral water. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, agility attribute points plus 1. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Gain agility attribute points plus 10. Received attribute rewards once again. But this time it's an agile attribute point. Jiang Yuza only felt that his body had become much lighter. If you run with all your might, you can definitely break the school's sprint record. No, even the national sprint record may be challenged. But Jiang Yuza doesn't want to try it now. Time is running out, continue to pass the levels. In the following few times, Jiang Yuza's rewards were mostly food. After running out of levels that day, his entire room was occupied by boxes of food. Even the bed is already filled with boxes. This couldn't help but make Jiang Yuza feel very headache. Although having plenty of food is a good thing, having no place to store it is also a hassle. Moreover, with so much food, it would be a pity if it doesn't taste and expires. Especially fruits, among all foods, have the shortest storage period. If there could be a warehouse like a cold storage for storage, that would be great. At this moment. Midnight had already passed. The Tower of Death game on the computer screen has refreshed the number of levels passed. At the same time, a game update announcement also pops up. The current game has been updated to version 2.0. After the update, the following 2 functions have been added. Firstly, the game interface is no longer limited to electronic devices such as computers and mobile phones, and players can summon the game interface anytime, anywhere. Secondly, a new item bar function has been added, allowing players to receive item rewards in the game that can be placed in the item bar without any upper limit. And the items stored in the items column are not affected by the storage time. Upon seeing this announcement, Jiang Yuze was delighted in his heart. Especially with the added item list function, it can be said that it has solved his urgent need. Jiang Yuze silently recited the Tower of Death game in his heart, and a semi-transparent virtual panel appeared in front of him. The game interface remains the same, except for an additional item bar button compared to before. Items stored in the item column are not affected by storage time. In my understanding, it should be what it looks like when it's put in and what it looks like when it's taken out. As long as it is placed in the item list, even fruits with a short storage time do not need to be afraid of being damaged. Click on the item bar. Jiang Yuze tried it and successfully put a box of fruits on the bed inside. Like many item lists in games, the same items can also be stacked and placed. Quickly, he put all the food in the room. 80 boxes of mineral water, 60 boxes of pineapple bread, 60 boxes of braised beef instant noodles. Looking at the various items in the inventory list, Jiang Yuze finally felt a little relieved. Although the number of levels passed has already been refreshed at this time, Jiang Yuze's eyes are slightly sore due to prolonged use of the ability of God's left eye. After thinking for a while, I decided to take a nap first. Nothing happened overnight. The next morning, when Jiang Yuze was awakened by the alarm clock, he was still in a daze. He had a dream all night. In the dream, there are various tragic situations after the arrival of the Tower of Death. The order on the Blue Star has long been disrupted. He is either being chased by monsters or a group of people grabbing his food. After waking up, Jiang Yuze's first thing was to call up the game interface and open the item bar to confirm. I breathed a sigh of relief when I found that all the items I had received were properly stored in the item list. The scene in the dream is really terrifying. No, I must improve my strength as soon as possible, Gollum. Just then, his stomach suddenly started screaming. Jiang Yuze decided to go out for breakfast first. Meanwhile, he needs to verify the conjecture from the night before yesterday. Can the money obtained from the Tower of Death be used to buy food and still be consumed after the arrival of the Tower of Death? Chapter 6. Hazard Perception. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I bought a few buns from the bun shop downstairs, and while there were not many people around, Jiang Yuze quietly used the power of God's left eye. The hidden information displayed on Baozi is only fresh meat buns that have just been cooked. Be careful not to scald your mouth. The words, edible after the arrival of the Tower of Death, are not displayed. Is this method really not feasible? After confirming that he couldn't get a bug in this way, Jiang Yuze was slightly disappointed. Afterwards, he tried again and found that the meat buns could not be placed in the game's item list. It seems that only items obtained from the Tower of Death game can be put in. Other things don't have this privilege. At this moment, Jiang Yuze noticed that the TV in the steamed bun shop was broadcasting morning news. What is being reported is news related to the Tower of Death. Among them, an expert-like person is talking loudly. Starting from yesterday, a game called Tower of Death suddenly appeared on everyone's phones and computers. Here, I advise everyone not to play this game. This game is very likely to be a virus of some kind, which will bring unpredictable and serious consequences. Technical experts from various countries have been working hard to crack it, please understand. Jiang Yuze completely ignored the remarks of this so-called expert. The games have been upgraded to version 2.0, and can be played even without electronic devices such as mobile phones or computers. How else can we crack it? He doesn't believe that the technology on Blue Star has reached this level. And others have the same idea. Jiang Yuze noticed that some pedestrians on the road who used to like to look down at their phones were now reaching out with one hand, pointing at the air in front of them. Sometimes showing excitement, sometimes sighing in frustration. At first, he didn't understand what was going on. Until one of them angrily shouted, "Fuck me. TM is dead again, the clearance rate of this Tower of Death is too low. Except for the first successful attempt, the following 6 attempts were all failures. Hey! If only I could also receive a reward of 1 million dragon coins. This broken class, who falls in love with who goes up. Although he was complaining, the person still went to work honestly with his briefcase in hand. Jiang Yuza looked thoughtfully at the pedestrians coming and going on the road, pondering. Originally, the interface of the game Tower of Death was not visible to anyone except players. In that case, I don't have to worry about being seen in the item list. Suddenly, he remembered the netizen named My Mixed Qinglong Gang. If he only got Desert Eagle after the game version update, he shouldn't have posted online, right? Throw the Desert Eagle into the item list. No one knew he possessed such a deadly weapon. However, in this way, Jiang Yuza became worried. Perhaps among the people walking around on the street, there are those who hide dangerous weapons in the inventory. Thinking of this, Jiang Yuza couldn't help but accelerate his pace. If that person is crazy or has a serious tendency to retaliate against society, then they are in danger. So at this time, except for my own home, nowhere is safe. In fact, even at home, it is not absolutely safe. But apart from home, Jiang Yuza couldn't think of any other more suitable place to go. Back home, lock the door and close the curtains. Jiang Yuza finally summoned the game interface of the Tower of Death. Most of the rewards I received yesterday were related to food. Today's 13 game opportunities, how can we still come up with something that can protect ourselves? Otherwise, the Tower of Death has not yet arrived, and I may have died in the hands of those who seek revenge on society. With this thought in mind, Jiang Yuza began today's first tower climbing game. The character gains a shovel as a weapon. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the second floor of the Tower of Death. Game characters obtain weapon rocket launchers. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the third floor of the Tower of Death. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Soon, Jiang Yuza cleared the game and arrived at the stage of receiving rewards. A life-saving weapon, a life-saving weapon. He took a deep breath and silently recited in his heart. When clicking on the first treasure chest, a line of text appears. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving a reward, with a power attribute point of +1. This time opening the treasure chest did not trigger a lucky critical strike effect. But even if it only has a +1 power attribute, Jiang Yuza doesn't mind. There is also a second treasure chest, hoping to produce good things. With a nervous mood, Jiang Yuza opened the second treasure chest. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving rewards, B.level abilities, and danger perception. 5 seconds before the danger occurs, the danger and its source can be perceived in advance. This is undoubtedly a very useful life-saving ability. Imagine if there were a criminal who wanted to attack themselves from behind. Under normal circumstances, it would never be detected. But if he had the ability to perceive danger, Jiang Yuza would be able to detect the danger 5 seconds before the criminal harmed him. In the upcoming 5 seconds of danger, it is entirely possible to make actions such as running away or even counterattacking. However, this ability cannot guarantee 100% survival. If encountering a large-scale strike, such as a nuclear attack, even if Jiang Yuza could sense it 5 seconds in advance, he wouldn't be able to escape the range of nuclear weapons in such a short amount of time. Although there are flaws, possessing this ability can still avoid the vast majority of dangers. In order to quickly identify the source of danger when encountering danger, Jiang Yuza plans to conduct his own experiment first. He took a fruit knife, aimed it at his palm, and plunged it in. But until the fruit knife stopped a few centimeters away from the palm, Jiang Yuza did not perceive any danger. What's going on? Has the ability failed? Why can't I perceive the danger in advance? After asking these 3 questions, Jiang Yuza had already thought of a possibility. That's because although he aimed his knife at his palm and stabbed it, subconsciously, he didn't really have the intention of hurting himself. That is to say, his knife will definitely stop when it approaches the palm of his hand. Since there is no danger, then danger perception will naturally not be triggered. If that's the case, what about a different approach? Jiang Yuze picked up a freshly boiled pot of water and wanted to pour it on his hand. At the same time, he also closed his eyes. The fall of hot water will not stop because of his stopping. As long as his left hand remains in place, it will definitely be scalded by boiling water. So this time, he immediately sensed the danger. To be precise, Jiang Yuze did not look at the hot kettle, but in his mind, he could clearly perceive the source and location of the dangerous atmosphere. Chapter 7. The appearance of a supernatural prisoner in Hangzhou Prison. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wow! Boiling hot water poured onto the ground, creating a white mist. Jiang Yuze opened his eyes and looked at his intact palm. After sensing the danger, he withdrew his hand, so he was not scalded. When danger perception is triggered, it is a feeling like this. Even with closed eyes, one can clearly feel the source of danger. In this way, you don't have to worry about not being able to see the source of danger and not knowing where to hide. It is indeed very effective for evading small-scale attacks. This can also be considered as having a certain degree of self-protection ability. Not bad, continue. Jiang Yuze clicked the Enter Game button again. The game character awakens their own martial soul, using a bow that moves day by day. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the second floor of the Tower of Death. The game character gains skills and moves forward with 100 steps. Successfully killed the guarding monster and climbed to the third floor of the Tower of Death. The game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. This time in the tower climbing game, a word that Jiang Yuze didn't quite understand came up, which is the martial soul of his own life. As a bookworm, he could probably guess that this was some kind of ability. Game characters can use their own martial souls to attack and kill monsters. Since there are such things as the original martial soul in the game, does that mean that I also have a certain probability of opening them in the treasure chest? This idea flashed through Jiang Yuze's mind. Because no matter what you think, it seems a bit unbelievable. I don't want to do that much for now. Let's wait until the day comes when it's over. Click on the treasure chest. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving a reward, Charm +5. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Charm +50. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving a reward, Agility Attribute Points +1. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Gain Agility Attribute Points +10. This time, both treasure boxes were given attributes. One of them is actually charming, and it adds up to 50 points. Looking in the mirror, Jiang Yuze's face became even more handsome than that of a top-tier male celebrity, and he couldn't even recognize himself. He looked left and right, feeling that if his ears were any longer, he might be able to cause elves without makeup. One stop towards the anime exhibition is the elf essence, cough. Cough. It's getting further apart. Jiang Yuze, is it time to indulge in beauty now? Improving strength is crucial. Jiang Yuze gently patted his beautiful and irresistible face, and then clicked the Enter Game button again. After a moment, the game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving the reward, Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle, with a caliber of 0.357 inches and 9 bullets inside, is a highly lethal thermal weapon. When the gun of Desert Eagle appeared in Jiang Yu's hand, a line of text appeared in his sight simultaneously. That is to say, after using these 9 bullets, this gun becomes a decoration. Unless applicable bullets are drawn in subsequent tower climbing games. Although the number of bullets is limited, it is always better than none. Maybe it will be useful someday. Add the Desert Eagle to the item list, and Jiang Yuza continues to open the second treasure chest. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for obtaining D.level ability and proficiency in language. Proficient in language, able to automatically recognize and translate languages and texts of different races, ensuring players barrier-free communication. After reading the introduction of this ability, Jiang Yuza once again fell into contemplation. Different races. Shouldn't it be more appropriate to use different countries here? After all, even if they are also of the yellow race, there are many languages. There are over 100 dialects in the Dragon Kingdom alone. If we include our hometown, there are thousands of them. Or, it is also possible that the race referred to here is not distinguished by skin color, but rather similar to the orcs, elves, undead, and the like in online games. After this idea came to mind, Jiang Yuza was startled. If that's really what he thinks, it means that when the Tower of Death descends, there will be many other races of creatures besides humans. So, will the creatures of those races be enemies or allies of humanity? With his imagination, countless images emerged in Jiang Yuza's mind, filled with anxiety. As expected, it has been verified that those who do not know are fearless. Only those who know less and less are fully immersed in the desires brought about by games. The more he knows, the more afraid he becomes. At this moment, Jiang Yuza heard several gunshots and piercing sirens coming from afar. He pulled open a corner of the curtain and looked out. I noticed several police cars speeding past on the distant street, seemingly trying to catch criminals. Even the gun was used. It seems that they are not capturing ordinary criminals. This kind of thing rarely happened before. I don't know if it's related to the game, Tower of Death. With this in mind, Jiang Yuza opened his computer and began searching for posts related to the game Tower of Death. Overnight, the number of such posts has reached tens or even millions. If you read one by one, even if you read it all day, you can't finish it. Therefore, he added another keyword, Hangzhou. That is the city where Jiang Yuza is located. This time, the number of posts suddenly dropped to over 2,000. I quickly browsed through the title of the post and quickly locked in one of the posts, titled, Hangzhou Prison surprisingly finds a mighty prisoner. After clicking in, I found that the homepage was a slightly blurry photo. But you can still see the words, Hangzhou Prison, on the gate. On the iron gate in the photo, the originally straight metal fence seems to have been forcefully deformed by someone, revealing a large hole. Several prisoners were eager to run out of the hole. There is also a brief text explanation below the photo. A supernatural prisoner appeared in Hangzhou Prison, injured the prison guard, and broke free by bending the iron gate with his bare hands. Hangzhou has dispatched special police to pursue and retrieve the escaped prisoners. It is speculated that the prisoner's ability should have been acquired in the game, Tower of Death. There are countless comments below this post. There are those who question its authenticity, as well as those who envy the prisoner and want to acquire abilities. Jiang Yuza compared his own strength, even though he gained many power attributes in the game. But it is definitely impossible to bend a solid iron door with bare hands. That is to say, in case of encountering that prisoner, with Jiang Yuza's current abilities, it may be difficult to deal with. Continuing to scroll down, I didn't expect that the prisoner's information had already been exposed through human flesh. Dai Jiacheng, 39 years old. Formerly the largest gang in Hangzhou, the leader of the Qinglong gang. Due to the competition for territory, it triggered a bloody battle with thousands of people, resulting in more than 50 deaths and hundreds of injuries. After being arrested by the police and brought to justice, he was sentenced to death. Jiang Yuza looked at the execution date and it was 2 days later. I didn't expect this gang leader named Dai Jiaqing to have such good luck that he drew a power before the execution and successfully escaped. The world is really going to be chaotic now. After reading this post, Jiang Yuze can now conclude that the sound of the police siren he just heard is highly likely to be the police chasing the escaped prisoners. And because of the ability to bend iron doors with bare hands, Jiang Yuze immediately lost his scent when he drew the Desert Eagle. After watching the remaining 10 game opportunities, Jiang Yuze shouted in his heart. Give me a few powerful abilities too. Don't just rely on auxiliary abilities. Chapter 8. Awakening the Soul of One's Own Life. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hangzhou, an abandoned construction site. 3 police cars surrounded a middle-aged man in prison uniform. Faced with more than 10 police officers with live ammunition, the man calmly took off his prison uniform and revealed his strong and muscular body. On its back, there is a green dragon tattooed with open teeth and claws. Spread from his back all the way to his arms. The Qinglong tattoo is lifelike. Especially its eyes, bright and lively. It seems as if it will fly out of him at any moment. A few young police officers were watching, swallowing their saliva. One of the oldest police officers stepped forward and shouted loudly. Dai Jiaqing, you are already surrounded. Give up resistance and come back to prison with me, you still have 2 more days to live. If you are stubborn, you may not even be able to survive today. With a click, the police officer loaded the pistol and aimed it at Dai Jiaqing. Looking at the pitch-black muzzle, Dai Jiaqing's eyes were even more profound. He grinned and the scar at the corner of his eye shook. Live an extra 2 days. Hee, but I think I can at least live for several more decades. As he spoke, a bright red light suddenly appeared at Dai Jiaqing's feet. The red light converges into a halo resembling a hexagram, slowly rising. Immediately afterwards, a phantom dragon appeared and hovered above his head. Upon seeing this scene, the police officer who had just shouted immediately ordered. Shoot! Bang bang bang! More than 10 gunshots rang out one after another. Bullets shot towards Dai Jiaqing from all directions. The latter's gaze fixed and he stepped on the ground. Suddenly, a powerful shock wave scattered around Dai Jiaqing. Surprisingly, those bullets flew back in the same direction. Except for the shouting police officer, everyone else was shot and killed. Monster! Monster! Looking at Dai Jiaqing, whose body was half covered with dark green scales, even a senior police officer was frightened and retreated repeatedly. He instinctively raised his trembling hand and fired several shots at Dai Jiaqing. Bang bang! The bullet brushed against the scales on Dai Jiaqing's body, leaving only shallow scratches on it. It's impossible to hurt him at all. Until the magazine was cleared, Dai Jiaqing still walked leisurely in front of him. His neck was tightly gripped by a pair of hands covered in dark green scales. Dai Jiaqing leaned in his ear and whispered, "It seems that the person who won't survive today is not me, but you." The next second, there is a click sound. The police officer's body instantly collapsed and was thrown aside. After confirming that there were no survivors around, the red light on Dai Jiaqing dissipated. He looked at his restored hands and grinned. Is this the power of the original martial soul? Interesting. Ding-ling-ling. Jiang Yuze's phone rang. Take it up and see, it was called by the second person. The second person's full name is Guo Heyao, ranking second in age among the 4-person group in the dormitory. The relationship with Jiang Yuze is very close, even closer than a biological brother. Once, Jiang Yuze's living expenses were stolen, and Guo Heyao took out his own living expenses to help the male lead overcome difficulties. During that time, they ate mantou with pickles for nearly 2 months. When Jiang Yuze was bullied, he also took the initiative to stand up and help out. The relationship between the two is like that of brothers with different surnames. When I answered the phone, I heard Guo Heyao's nervous voice. Yuze, you must be careful during this period. Don't leave your home unless you can. It's very unsafe outside now. I remember you lived alone, right? If it's really not possible, come and live at my house. It's much safer than being alone. Jiang Yuze rejected his offer. Are you talking about the Hangzhou Prison uprising, where many death row inmates escaped? Don't worry, I'm fine alone. You also pay attention to your own safety. I have a premonition that the world is going to be in chaos. Guoheyao was taken aback for a moment. So you already know about this. I heard that one of the death row inmates obtained a power from the Tower of Death game, which was so powerful that he could bend an iron gate with his bare hands. I don't know if it's true. By the way, I haven't played the 3 games today yet. I don't know if there's a chance of success. I searched online and found that many people have obtained good things from games. Compared to them, my Abyss equipment suddenly lost its appeal. Alright, let's not talk anymore. I'm going to play games. Hanging up the phone, Jiang Yuze also opened the game interface. After a moment, the game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving a reward, with a physical attribute of +1. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Obtain physical attribute points +10. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving a reward, with +1 strength attribute. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Gain strength attribute points +10. Several times in a row, Jiang Yuze received rewards that were either attribute points or food. Just when he thought he had no chance with supernatural abilities, a sudden prompt appeared that surprised him greatly. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving rewards, awakening his own martial soul and glass box. Strength attribute +4 physical attributes +7 agility attribute +5 intelligence attribute +10 introduction. Glass box, a unique divine level auxiliary type of innate martial soul. Growth-oriented innate martial soul, with unclear advantages in the early stages, it is recommended to persevere. After reading the reward content, Jiang Yuze was stunned. Is there really a reward like the original martial soul? And all the attributes have also increased. Before fully understanding what was going on, a golden light suddenly appeared under Jiang Yuze's feet. A golden array halo resembling a 6-pointed star slowly rises and rotates around his body. Immediately after, a delicate mechanism glass box shimmering with 9 colors appeared above his head. Under the operation of the mechanism, boxes opened like lotus flowers. Jiang Yuze counted and found a total of 9 boxes. It's just empty inside, nothing. Is this my original martial soul? This thing, what exactly is it useful for? Just as Jiang Yuze was puzzled, a prompt message appeared. Awakening the original martial soul for the first time, obtaining the first soul skill and increasing agility. Skill effect. Increase agility attribute by 50% triggering lucky critical strike effect, skill attribute amplification effect doubles by 4 times. After using the skill, the agility attribute increases by 200%. After these prompt messages appeared, Jiang Yuze suddenly had more ideas in his mind about summoning his own martial soul and how to use soul skills. However, he did not appear too excited because he had awakened his own martial soul. But instead, he looked up to the sky and sighed. Oh my God, why is TM an auxiliary ability again? Am I destined to only be an assistant? Chapter 9. 10 Martial Souls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although Jiang Yuze is very unwilling to accept this reality. But fate meant it, he had to face it. Forget it, let's try to see how the amplification effect of the first soul skill works. He tried to unleash his agility boosting skills for himself. After a golden glow, Jiang Yuze clearly felt that his body had become much lighter. The room is too small to open. Jiang Yuze simply opened the door and went outside. He made a simple warm-up move, then bent down and accelerated before rushing out. A gust of strong wind blew up the skirts of several girls on the roadside. In Jiang Yuze's eyes, it was white. Oh no, it's a rapidly receding flow of people. At a 200% increase in agility, he is like a high-speed car. In a blink of an eye, it disappeared without a trace. Agile attributes not only affect speed, but also flexibility. Jiang Yuze turned his head and entered the alley. Shuttling through the intricate alleys, the speed is still very fast. In just a few minutes, he ran back and forth on the journey that usually takes half an hour to complete. But Jiang Yuze could feel that after applying his agility-boosting skill, he needed to constantly expend his stamina to maintain the boosting effect. As long as one's physical strength is sufficient, this effect can continue indefinitely. Based on his current physical strength, he can maintain it for about an hour. It's also pretty good. If you want to continue increasing time, you need to improve your stamina attributes. When he went out just now, Jiang Yuze was afraid of being recognized, so he wore a mask. After confirming that he was not being tracked, he returned to the room. Just as Jiang Yuze summoned his own martial soul again, he suddenly noticed that the left eye of the god saw a small line of text. The glass box can accommodate 9 types of martial souls in addition to the main body. According to the items placed by the player, corresponding types of martial souls can be generated. And each of these martial souls has the same function as the original martial soul. After activation, various martial souls can freely switch between each other. After reading this passage, Jiang Yuze immediately became excited. He has a bold guess. That is to say, including the glass box body, I can have a total of 10 original martial souls. And the other 9 martial souls, as long as I put in any item, can I generate any martial souls? If I put Gundam inside, can I have a mecha soul? Of course, whether it can be put in it is another matter, provided that he first obtains Gundam. I just don't know if using toys like Gundam would have the same effect. Jiang Yuze was lost in thought. Thinking back, he would never dare to put the toy Gundam in the box. If a toy Gundam soul appears, ghosts know what soul skills will appear. Although Jiang Yuze is not sure if others have received rewards for awakening their own martial souls, nor is it clear what their own martial souls are like. But my original martial soul, called the glass box, is obviously extraordinary. And this is also a unique innate martial soul. That is to say, no one else can awaken this innate martial soul except him. 10 original martial souls, although they look quite numerous. But Jiang Yuze doesn't want to waste any opportunity. Every martial soul must carefully consider before making a decision. After calming down, Jiang Yuze immediately studied how to activate the other 9 martial souls. After several consecutive readings, the information given by the left eye of God is insufficient level to enable. It wasn't until the last box, which was sparkling with white light, that Jiang Yuze saw a different message. Consuming a spirit mineral crystal core has a 60% chance to activate the second martial soul. Upon seeing this message, Jiang Yuze's heart was filled with joy. Finally, there is a martial soul that my current level can unlock. But I just don't know what this spiritual mineral crystal core is and where to obtain it from. Moreover, even if you obtain the spirit mind crystal core, there is still a probability of successfully activating the second martial soul, not 100%. But no matter what, as long as there are enough spiritual mineral crystal cores, it is always possible to successfully activate the second martial soul. There are still a few game opportunities left, and I don't know if I can draw the spirit mind crystal core. Click the Start Game button again. After a moment, the game character kills the 10th level boss and climbs to the top of the tower. Please claim your reward. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for triggering a lucky critical strike effect and obtaining a clearance treasure chest of X2. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuze for receiving a reward, with a physical attribute of +1. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect and increasing the reward amount by 10 times. Obtain physical attribute points plus 10. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for receiving the reward, Elf Gloves. Elf Gloves. C.level equipment. Wearing it can increase the long-range attack hit rate by 20%. Congratulations to player Jiang Yuza for triggering the lucky critical strike effect, upgrading his equipment to level A, the Wind Elf's leather gloves. This time, Jiang Yuza drew a piece of equipment. It's a pair of black leather gloves. After triggering the lucky critical strike effect and upgrading to A.level equipment, the attributes of these gloves have also changed. Wind Elf's leather gloves. The equipment protected by the Wind Elf can increase the long-range attack hit rate by 60% when worn. With the magic of the Wind Elves, the flying speed of long-range attack weapons doubles, that is to say, if Jiang Yuza fired a shot at a monster. It originally took 2 seconds for the bullet to hit that monster. After wearing these gloves, the time required to hit the monster became 1 second. This 1 second may not seem like much time, but it can often change the outcome of a battle. For example, for some monsters with fast reaction times, 2 seconds may be enough for them to react and dodge bullets. But if it's half the time, that's not necessarily true. Not only that, wearing it can also increase the long-range attack hit rate by 60%. Without a doubt, these gloves, combined with long-range attack skills, are definitely top-notch. However, for Jiang Yuza, there is currently no place for him to be useful. Therefore, he placed these hands in the item list and continued climbing the tower. Perhaps today's luck has run out, and the next reward is not food, but something like tents and lighters. I'm not sure if it will be useful after the arrival of the Tower of Death, but I have also thrown them into the item list one by one. Just as Jiang Yuza was about to use up his last gaming opportunity, his phone rang again. It's still the call from the second person. As soon as he picked it up, he heard the excited voice of the second person from across the street. Jiang Yuza, I have some good news for you. When I was just playing the game Tower of Death, I was extremely lucky and surprisingly succeeded once. And he also received an incredible reward, called Ben Ming. At this point, the second person's voice suddenly interrupted. The only sound left on the phone was a rustling sound, sounding like an old TV with no signal. Strange, why suddenly there was no sound? Jiang Yuza looked at his phone and suddenly realized that it showed no signal. This is a second-hand phone that he spent several hundred yuan to buy and only used for over a month. If I had known there were so many quality issues with second-hand phones, I would have gritted my teeth and bought a first-hand one. Just as Jiang Yuza was complaining, he suddenly noticed that the sky outside the window had darkened. As soon as I opened the curtains, I was startled. Above the sky, a spire-shaped object was rapidly falling. That thing is very huge and can envelop the entire city of Hangzhou. No, to be precise, it's everything he can see. At the moment of seeing that thing, a thought flashed through Jiang Yuza's mind. The Tower of Death has descended. Almost at the moment when this idea emerged, a powerful shockwave came from the Tower of Death, turning all the houses into powder and dissipating them. And at that time, Jiang Yuza also lost consciousness. Chapter 10. The Coming of the Tower of Death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Jiang Yuza opened his eyes, he suddenly realized that he was in a strange world. Although the sky is still blue, the land is still yellow. But there are no high-rise buildings or bustling traffic around. There are only withered yellow trees and dry rivers. In the distant Rocky Mountains, there are still the sounds of unknown animals. Like a wolf or a tiger. In front of Jiang Yuza, the virtual interface of the Death Tower game is opening. There are several prominent lines of text above. Welcome to the official version of Death Tower. Beginner level. Current difficulty. Beginner level. Current task. Please survive for 10 hours in the beginner level and kill as many monsters or opposing races as possible. After 10 hours, the rewards will be settled. The more monsters and opponents you kill, the richer the rewards and experience points will be during the settlement. Of course, the prerequisite is that you are still alive after 10 hours. Behind the text is a clown's smiling face. It was said to be a smiling face, but that eerie expression looked very eerie. Even in summer, it makes the soles of the feet feel cold. Is this the world after the arrival of the Tower of Death? It seems that it's not quite what I expected after learning that the Tower of Death would one day descend. Jiang Yuza once fantasized about various possibilities. Ugly zombies after mutation, or sudden drops in temperature, frozen land, and so on. Compared to his imagined world, the current situation seems to be much better. After all, it's just a beginner-level difficulty. But Jiang Yuza knew that if he relaxed his guard because of this, the outcome would definitely be very tragic. So he opened the item list and took out the Desert Eagle. And he also put the gloves of the Wind Elf on his hand. This is a top-notch equipment that can improve hit rate and bullet flight speed. Not at this time, let's wait a little longer. Just as Jiang Yuza was planning to close the game window, he suddenly realized that the Death Tower game version had been updated to version 3.0. Added player information functionality compared to before. It's similar to the equipment bar of a character in a game. You can clearly see the player's equipment, attributes, and level information. Jiang Yuza currently only has 2 items in his gear list. Desert Eagle and Wind Elf gloves. The level goes without saying, it is naturally LV1. The attribute panel goes without saying that his current attributes in all aspects are definitely far beyond those of a normal person. Especially the agility attribute, which is the attribute reward he received the most points in the Tower of Death game. When it comes to the Tower of Death game, Jiang Yuza still has 1 game count left before. I don't know if it can still be used after the real Tower of Death game arrives. Thinking of this, he tried clicking the Start Game button. This time, I did not enter the game screen. But instead, a dialog box pops up. Tip. You are currently inside the Tower of Death and cannot enter the game. Please try again after completing the current task. Jiang Yuza felt regretful about this. After all, 10 hours later, that will be the next day. I don't know if the unused number of games will be automatically saved until the next day. I didn't dare to try before, but now there is only 1 game opportunity left that can be used to verify. I hope the final answer is yes. Just as he was thinking, there was suddenly movement coming from not far away. Jiang Yuza immediately became alert. You should know that in the beginner level of the Tower of Death, besides humans, there are also monsters and enemies of other races. And he's only 1 person now, so if he encounters a monster, it will be troublesome. Jiang Yuza's luck doesn't seem to be very good. There's no way, who can make his SSS level ability work. Super Lucky Star only works when opening treasure chests and so on. The sound was emitted by a pointed-eared monster with green all over, rough skin, and a height of no more than 1 meter. At the same time as Jiang Yuza discovered it, he also discovered Jiang Yuza. Waving the stone axe in his hand, he charged towards him with a whimper. Jiang Yuza immediately raised the Desert Eagle, aimed at the monster, and pulled the trigger. With a bang, the bullet shot out from the pitch-black muzzle and hit the monster's chest. The latter's thin and small body suddenly flew backwards under the impact of bullets, falling heavily to the ground. Dark green blood flowed out of its chest, and the monster quickly became motionless. At this moment, Jiang Yuza remembered to use the power of God's left eye to explore the information of this monster. Goblin Sentinel. Level. LV1. Power. 5 physical strength. 3 agility. 4 intelligence. 2 weapon. Stone axe introduction. The lowest level monster in the Tower of Death has extremely strong reproductive ability. Please don't underestimate it. goblin is a social monster. Although a goblin's strength is relatively weak, if you are surrounded by multiple goblins together, even if you are an adult male, the wisest choice is to run away. After Jiang Yuze saw the information about this monster clearly, he smiled helplessly. The strongest attribute is less than 1/5 of mine. I was also scared and instinctively chose to shoot. If I had known the strength of the goblin sentinels was so weak, there was no need to waste a bullet. After all, he only has 9 bullets, using one is missing one. Thinking of this, Jiang Yuze picked up the stone axe that goblin had dropped on the ground and weighed it in his hand. Not very sharp, can only be considered a blunt tool. Goblin's stone axe. Attack +1. Looking at his first prize of war, Jiang Yuze impolitely took it into his pocket. Suddenly, Jiang Yuze seemed to realize something and murmured to himself. Wait, goblin is a social monster. Since I have encountered one, it indicates that there may be a second or third one nearby. And that shot just now made such a big noise. Shouldn't it be? Thinking of this, Jiang Yuze immediately looked around. Sure enough, I noticed 5 goblins charging towards him not far away. This time, Jiang Yuze used his divine left eye to first examine their attributes. After confirming that they are all LV1 and that their attributes are similar to the previous goblin, he chose to put away the desert eagle and held the goblin's stone axe in his hand. These 5 goblins are separated by some distance, and if the speed is fast enough, it is not difficult to break through each one. Since the bullets of the desert eagle are always used up, I will take advantage of this moment to adapt to combat awareness. Perhaps this is also the purpose for beginner levels to exist. Speaking, Jiang Yuze rushed towards the nearest goblin.